Hello, everybody. We are back. And today, a new episode of Decagrammaton. So, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be like a real event. It wasn't. But, more Decagrammaton. It's not bad. I have been looking forward to seeing more. So, let's get into it. Last time we left off, what happened? We met the three robot sisters, the prophets of coffee machine. We fought the giant shield raid boss. That's kind of it. You know what? Like, not a lot happened, honestly. I wonder how this storyline is going to go. The relief of Decagrammaton's apparent defeat does not last long. Signs of a mysterious prophet begin to appear again. To face this danger, you may need a new ally. A new ally? We're getting new people? Who? Oh, we're fighting heavies. So it's Mika. We're using Mika. How's it looking, Emmy? Toki? No major changes detected during recon. I've identified the occasional Decagrammaton follower, but they are not hostile. No combat initiated. We only decided to continue operations here in hopes of securing more data on the fifth prophet, Gabora. But we have gotten nothing. This feels like a waste of manpower and resources. More importantly, this environment is too harsh for a delicate, beautiful, super genius, chic, cool beauty like me. Added more adjectives to your moniker, President. Furthermore, I believe chic and cool are inaccurate descriptors. Absolutely wrong. I am the very epitome of a chic, cool beauty. Emmy, you must really think more highly of me. Yes, Emmy, regardless of reality, it is important to encourage high self-esteem in both ourselves and others. Toki, has anyone ever told you that some things are better left unsaid? Yes, you know me very well, President Mari. However, I do not understand this sentiment, and have no desire to, either. Do something about this, Sensei. It was bad enough with Emmy, and now I must endure Toki as well? Well, Toki isn't well-intentioned. She isn't ill-intentioned, at the very least. That's precisely the problem. Let's move on to the matter at hand. We need to collect more data on Gabora. I do have a report on that matter. It is what you may call a hunch, however. Oh, that piques my interest. Please elaborate. Yes, my hunch is about Gabora itself. To be precise, it is an impression I received during our battle. To me, it appeared that Gabora was avoiding direct engagement, as if it did not want to incite an all-out war between us. Agreed. I felt its primary motive was not to fight. I see. Then if we evaluate what we know of Gabora so far, we've surmised that it is doing its utmost to delay battle, unlike the other Decagrammaton prophets we've encountered, because of an ulterior motive we have yet to uncover. That is correct. I would never ignore Toki's intuition, and considering you fought it face-to-face, I trust your report. However, that doesn't change what needs to be done. Continue to track Gabora and its activity? Yes, Sensei. Let's say Gabora has some masterful plan brewing in the background. Then it is the Super Phenomenon Task Force's job to figure out what that is. Everyone, without further ado... Emmy, alert. We're under attack. An unprecedented pattern. President, we're under attack. Yes, I heard. For them to change their MO and suddenly aggress. Was new command structure established, and they're now seeking to engage in battle. Or perhaps it's retaliation for us chasing down Gabora's trail. But there's no trace of Gabora. We haven't found a wisp of it. Yes, I found nothing while analyzing data either. Then what could have prompted analysis and contemplation will have to wait. Commencing battle. What level are they? Did it say? Can we just screw around? Sure. Just for thematic. We need a healer. We haven't gotten to use Mari very much. Let's use her. Does anyone actually have any damaging ults? 2. Sometimes I wish the story mode was a little more challenging. I mean, clearly it's meant for me to be like at level 40 or something like that, but still. Emmy? Toki? Are you okay? Report. I'm Emmy. Mission accomplished, President. Likewise, no damage or injuries to report. However, during the fight we discovered 2 things. One can be delivered by oral report, but the second will require a show and tell. Which should we do first? Let's start with the simple one. Talking is easier. The Decagrammaton forces, movements, appear to be more organized. How so? I will speak. Previously, they appeared to have no sense of direction or leadership. That is no longer the case. They carried out concealment, ambush, and siege tactics perfectly. Of course, they caused no problem for me at all. Piece. Do something, Sensei. The president was already too much, but now Toki's joined her. Toki didn't have any bad intentions, at least. Don't you think that's the problem? I'm having a strange feeling of deja vu. That expression of distress on Emmy's face. Amazing. Toki, incredible. Even laudable work. Thank you, President Mari. What was the second item? The one I needed to see? I'll send it to you now. Sensei, please look and tell us what you think as well. What am I supposed to be looking at? Something massive is plowing through the glacial sea. Having seen it in person, what's your opinion, Emmy? Oh, okay, that's okay. I agree with your assessment. I'd like to add that the ice's breakage seems to have been caused by a ship of some kind. Are we gonna have to fight Chakma? As you see on the screen, I'd say that's true. As the recon master around here, I would assert that we must follow this trail. Could this be the trace of Gabora we have been searching for? No, I don't think so. Do you remember when we first encountered Gabora? It came out of nowhere, bursting up from under the glacial sea's bed of ice. Ah, I get what the president's trying to say. Exactly. Gabora has always taken advantage of its ability to mobilize undetected beneath the glacial sea, from what we've seen of its movement. This is a far cry from its usual patterns. Whatever did this was showing off. It's not in line with Gabora's previous behavior. Like it was putting its strength on display. It could be even worse than Gabora. Another prophet? Nothing is confirmed yet. We've been floundering without leads ever since we lost track of Gabora. But it appears it's time for us to take action. Let's follow the trail. And pause our efforts to find Gabora. I see. If that is connected to another prophet, as Toki and I suspect, then Gabora is somewhere along this path as well. And those children have been weighing on my mind. Do you mean the three engineers we encountered, Ein, Sof, and Auer? They were the first ones to actually attempt to communicate with us. Their appearance here could hardly be a mere coincidence. Alright, Sensei. I agree. Emmy and Toki will begin tracking down the... What are you talking about, President? You have to come too. Yes, and Sensei. Sensei should come. Me? And me? Of course. He knows how far this trail will take us. Walking will be inefficient. We have a helicopter in the operation room. We should make use of that. Yes, efficiency is important. I'll say it again, since it's important. Efficiency is really important. Do you realize you're asking me, a delicate, weak, frail, and fragile beauty, to fly through the harsh environment of the glacial sea? It's fine, President. You're much stronger than you think. I guarantee it. That's right, President Amari. To be more precise, you are like a red panda raising its little arms, trying to block a path. Does that mean I'm strong or weak? It's best to move as a group from here on out. I can hardly argue with Sensei. Understood. Emmy, Toki, please return and we'll commence our investigation of the new clue. You're strangely excited about this, Sensei. Connect this part with this, and then have the cylinder over there cross again. If my calculations are correct. Ein, there you are. Are you messing with the machines again? Huh? Shock. What did I do? Soph? You scared me. I'm sorry for screaming. Scared? What are you getting scared for? It's only you, me, and Auer here. Auer, me, and you. No outsiders allowed. But I was really focused, and you spoke to me so suddenly. I couldn't help it. Alright, I'm sorry, okay? Anyway, what's this massive machine for? This child? Well, where do I start? I don't need all the dirty details, just give me the rundown. Yes. I've utilized the maximum number of cogs, connected the proper axles, added more supporting cylinders, and hooked it all up to the power system. You interweave and knit together the maximum number of parts, and have the most biggest ever machine calculator. Another one? But the specs are astronomical. Compared to the previous editions, it can memorize 10,000 50-digit numbers. Can't you do that with a basic old calculator? The ones that can fit in your pocket? This is just a factory-sized version of that. Everyone has their hobbies. I didn't mean to. You know, now that I'm taking another look, it's super impressive. Yep. Yeah. The way you control this gigantic thing with just one lever? How efficient. Don't you think so? I really like stuff like this. Stuff like what? Uniform massive devices? Carrying out your rules impeccably? Yes, rules are very good. And having a clear input and output? And yes, it's even better if it's big. Hard device. And if it can move faster without outside help, there's nothing better in the whole world. Oh, what is that? If it can move forever, not faster. Wait, perpetual motion machines are only hypothetical. And Ein, you can't just call things big and hard. Is that... Oh. Why is that, Soph? Well, that's... Yes, that's because among the humans, they're expressions of vulgarity. That's what you were saying. Yes, Soph? Our? While I could not ascertain the reason, I learned in my research of Kavotos' social protocol that this expression causes humans an embarrassment of sort. But this begs the question, why is Soph so proficient in human idioms? Now that you mention it. See, Ein is curious too. Hurry, confess. Our, drop it, if you don't. Today's topic, how did Soph come to learn human expressions? My first theory, Soph is a stalker, who finds pleasure in observing inferior races such as humans. She enjoys their contradictory manners, the way they often convolute their goals by unnecessary fretting over morals and processes. She does this despite the fact that it's absolutely a divergence from the objective we should be investigating. We'll find out, here and now, while Soph's logic circuits are overloaded. The end goal is to observe Soph's expression of embrace. Enough! Ow. Are you alright, Hour? You reap what you sow. Stop indulging yourself with useless yammering and focus on deciphering the commandment. We need to hasten and prove their existence before the completion of the altar. The commandment? But I finished it? Already? Yes, the data that we gathered during the battle with Abu Essa was an immense boon. I was about to say baboon. Abi Essa. Is that really how it's pronounced? Or is it just Abu S? What other reason would I have to interact with you, if not about the commandment? My. Is this what I call an inflated ego, Soph? You should have disclosed that information to begin with. No violence. This is the commandment of the nameless gods. At last, with this in hand, we can finally reproduce the sublime before the sublime. To be honest, I really thought this was nothing more than a long-lost myth. Wait, they're doing the forgotten gods. Not so long, or lost. It's written in the Master's records. Yes, the Master declared, "Prove my being to the far reaches of the land." But variables outside of anyone's control brought about the tragedy. But no, it didn't. Did they not know that he killed himself on purpose? Sin will proliferate the land, and the plans born of that mind shall be wicked. Water will purify all. Well, It's what one would call an unfortunate result. That's why we had to look up... that's why we need... What? That's why we had to look for new leads. A different direction. And that's what led us here, but... What's wrong, Ein? What thought plagues you? Even if it was in pursuit of truth and proof of our master's existence, was it truly necessary to rely on an abandoned power? But I don't mean to rebel against the master's teachings. What brings about this curiosity? We are faultless, as we were created flawless. Therefore, anything we do is without fault. Well, well. The intent behind Ein's questions do not escape me entirely. We are the embodiment of perfection, so why did we need to change? To find ways to improve our functions. That's it. That's why I think we... Now. That's where you're wrong, Ein. Rewire your logic circuits in this fashion. We, as perfect beings, are merely utilizing the tool the Nameless God's powers. It was, in fact, a verification of our perfection. Is that how it is? That's right. Who else could wield such power besides us, the perfect creations? And once we perfectly implement our plan, the fragments of this land will be converted into our source. If you really think about it, they give themselves fancy names like Nameless Gods. But they're just as old, ancient fossils at this point. They're nothing but fuel to us, like the fossil fuels the humans love so much. There's not one singular thing about siphoning power from beings manifested from past legacies. Huh? What's with the strange looks? I'm sorry. I didn't quite understand that fossil fuel analogy. Worry not, Ein. Consider it a strange human quirk that only Soph can truly comprehend. I, myself, cannot comprehend Soph's curious infatuation with such inferior beings. Curiosity is too strong of a description. That's our territory, right? We're going to rule over them. So it's more like livestock? Yes, exactly. Just as humans know the ins and outs of their own livestock. What is this livestock? Probably another strange and trivial concept that only Soph knows. Get away from her, Ein. Leave Soph and her peculiarities here, and we shall test the new computer device you developed. You get away. You're a bad influence on Ein. False. You're the epitome of an influence that is negative. Wait. Soph? Don't fight. Huh? This is a message from Gabora. From darling Gabora? I must check immediately. It's suggesting an operation all on its own? And to have its limits released? No, our Gabora can't handle that much strain. Let's hear it out for now. Aha! Gabora's original mission was to identify and eradicate any enemies within the Glacial Sea. It seeks to complete its directive. I can sympathize. Wonderful. Wonderful! A revenge match of sorts. Our darling Gabora is our little hothead, but still... There's more. Although unlikely, in the event that Gabora is defeated, it requests the enemies to be lured into that place. A plan B, you say? Fascinating. My. An issue of differing import. Well, it looks fun, so let us comply. You're sure? Not that I have an opinion one way or the other. I object. If it's that place, and our darling Gabora's intention? Yes. It isn't ready to... What? It isn't ready yet to function at 100% capacity. However, the plan itself, you can't help but approve of. As she says, its strength is on par with the plan's demands. Force the enemy to fight, until they find themselves teetering at their limits. Terrain advantages on our side as well. But how do we know the plan will work? If something happens to our baby... What are these festering doubts, Ein? In that event, you'll simply need to step in. You're right. I really have to clear my head then. If it happens, then I will rise to the occasion with excitement. Then we'll all agree now. Do we agree to Gabora's plan? I say yes. Yes, we must allow them all to grow. Respect their autonomy. The prophets have only just opened their eyes after all. All right, if Soph and Hour think so, and more importantly, if our darling Gabora wishes, I'll do my utmost to prove how we can employ the Nameless God's power in ways before unimagined. They're very, very, very long-winded. We've been following the trail deeper into the Glacial Sea for a considerable time now, but there's nothing of significant note. Let's pause to organize our data and re-evaluate our goals. Please pull up the video, Emmy. Yes, President. Our actions can be categorized into 3 main stages. We battled Gabora, found this clue, and now we're tracking it. But at the core of our investigation, we were unable to determine Gabora's intentions here. Hasn't it always been difficult to figure out the Prophet's motives? Of course, there were exceptions, such as Chest, that was a munitions factory, and Kether, that was guarding the ruined submerged district. And during that, we encountered 3 strange children who claimed to be engineers and followers of Decagrammaton. They attacked us. That's all correct. However, what is truly of interest to me was their mention of the Nameless God's power. To be exact, they called it forbidden technology. Yes, they realized immediately that it was the same power used on my weapon, Abu Essa. Abi. And so I came to the conclusion that there's no direct connection between Decagrammaton and the Nameless Gods. I originally surmised that there would be some relation between the two, but I was incorrect. There's too many unanswered questions. I don't know why they called us here, but it seems our presence here was the final component in completing this elder sister they spoke of. Whether they needed us all for it, whether they needed all of us, or just a specific individual and why, I still don't know. Maybe it was the Nameless Priests and God's technology in the Abu Essa they were after. Or even the Shittim Chest. There's still many unknowns around the General Student Council President's last gift to Shale. It could even be the super delicate genius hacker Akiboshi Himari's fearsome gift of omniscience. That's not real. That's what we know. The rest is my hypothesis. But if the reason those children, the engineers who introduced themselves as Ein, Sof, and Hour, called us to the Glacial Sea was to complete this elder sister, then we can predict that the information they needed the most was data from Abu Essa. Abi Essa. Yes, that appears accurate. Abi Essa's data. It's a simple supposition, you can say. They were already aware of the Nameless God's powers, so upon learning of such a power, what would be the natural next step? It would be to acquire and validate data, and confirm if it can be used to their advantage. They fought us in order to gather data on the Abu Essa. Then the real purpose behind that fight. Correct. It was all a part of their strategy, although I'm still unclear on just what their strategy or motive was. As a caveat, this is all pure speculation. Speculations we've been having trouble finding any shred of evidence for. However, it would align with why Gabora has been refusing to meet us on the battlefield. And on top of everything, we've encountered a new prophet. To have such a conspicuous trail, they must have some purpose in the Glacial Sea, right? That's likely the case. I'm curious about its appearance. Me as well, perhaps more than anyone else. But again, we're left with no clues. The only thing I can deduce, based on the trail we saw, is that it's unimaginably large. I suppose I would also surmise that it's capable of moving alone for extended periods of time. The Nameless God's power, Gabora, the engineers of Decagrammaton, and the unknown prophet's motives. Listing it all out like that feels ominous. Just what are they after? There must be an answer hiding beneath the surface. What's happening all of a sudden? Anti-aircraft fire. We're under attack. We should land, President. There are hostiles in the area there are hostiles in the air as well. Your orders, Sensei? Emergency landing. Yes, commencing emergency landing. We're surrounded. I'll break through. Toki? Yes, I shall make quick work of them. They're very persistent. Is this attack also with the intent to collect data? No. It's as if the trail we've been following led us directly to this force of Decagrammaton troops. Was this all a trap? Or... Huh? The enemy forces are suddenly retreating. In the ideal case, they will have recognized their inferiority and planned a strategic escape. However, this does not appear to be that. Could it be? President, entity approaching from 15 meters below. This is where you've been. Gabora. Sure, let's just keep going. I mean, it didn't really matter. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Sure. If you're gonna do that, then why even have a combat sequence? Just do it a cutscene. Is it not significantly stronger? Gabora is not the same as before. This is beyond a power boost. There's a fundamental change in how it functions. For now, we should try and escape. Gabora, it is approaching. I will stall the enemy. While I do so, That's a no good habit of yours, Toki. Yeah, she does tend to do that a lot, doesn't she? Can we even land the helicopter right now? Then, at the very least, Sensei, mobilize Amos troop, or unit. Oh, so we get Rio. Okay. Okay. Huh? Is that? It is. It's Rio. Exchanging pleasantries in this situation isn't logical. So let's skip them this time. You... Rio! Please focus on the enemy in front of you, Sensei. You too, Himari. I'm here to provide support, and a way to deal with the fifth prophet, Gabora. Fine. Fine. Only because we have no other choice. Thank you. Seems like that boss takes more and more and more damage the longer the fight goes on. Because at first it didn't seem like it was doing all that much. So that makes me wonder, how fast can you actually kill it? Like using a serious team, like with Mika and units like that. I wonder. It's slowing down. Toki. Yes, Miss Rio, commencing attack. An effective hit, although we appear to have let it get away. A tactical retreat. A shame that it escaped again. Fact. The retreat is to our advantage. We require time to assess and reorganize. Gabora's signal's lost. It moves very efficiently. Oh well. Hello, Miss Rio. That was an efficient entrance, in many ways. Excellent timing. But are you okay, President Himari? I have absolutely no idea why you feel the need to check on me, but I'm fine. I don't feel jealous in any way, shape, or form that a certain someone came in on a trail of blazing glory and stole the spotlight. Because I am benevolent, and generous, and kind. You understand, Emmy? Yes, I understand that the president is sulking. You slander as effortlessly as you breathe. Let's begin with the most superficial greeting I can muster. It's nice to see you again, Rio. How have you been? Did you not hear me say that we'll begin with a superficial greeting? You'd start with a simple hello, Rio. Ah, yes. Understood. Hello. It's nice to see you. How have you been? Yes, I sincerely return the sentiment, Miss Rio. Have you been sleeping well? I hope you are not staying up all night and sleeping until the afternoon. Caught. Managing your circadian rhythm is the only thing that housekeeping robots cannot assist you with. I'm trying. I believe I can visualize what Miss Rio and Toki's life together was like. Should we inch our way over to the new point now? Wait, over to the point now. What? To begin, you haven't returned to Millennium all this time. Where have you been hiding out? Furthermore, a certain seminar treasure has quite a bit to say to you. I also simply can't look past your dramatic reveal, at such a crucial moment at that. Surely you weren't thinking, I need to do something to justify my return. I can't show my face again unless I have something to offer. I was tracking down every clue I could find to the Nameless God's powers. The Nameless God's powers? Yes. It didn't simply disappear after it manifested on that day. There were traces of it left all over Kavotos. I wasn't expecting to run into you during my investigation. Our investigation into the Nameless God's powers. Later to Decagrammaton's prophets? I'm still doing my utmost to prepare for and prevent the unknown phenomenon that could devastate Kavotos. That hasn't changed. Not since I first established the Super Phenomenon Task Force. Wait, so that they weren't talking about Volume F? There was something else? I'm not charismatic or very skilled at social interactions, so I wanted to do what I'm able to do. It was how I hoped to find redemption. Fine, I can accept that. However, you simply offloaded the responsibilities of the Super Phenomenon Task Force onto me, and disappeared. You put me in a position where I couldn't refuse. Despite your dislike of me, I knew you would follow through. From a certain perspective, that could be seen as a threat. We could have been in big trouble if Rio hadn't come, right? Yes, even I can acknowledge that. In fact, even outside of this incident, we owe you a debt. In one form or another. What I was really trying to say was to stop waffling with these useless excuses like redemptions or justifications, and just come back to Millennium. Huh? What was that? Did you say something? Forget it. However, the Super Phenomenon Task Force ended up fulfilling its role exactly as intended, Miss Rio. Yes, and I, excellent agent and perfect maid, also played my role perfectly. Toki aside, as the founder of the Super Phenomenon Task Force, how do you feel? I'm still figuring that out. I thought you would answer like that. What I can say for certain is that the events occurring here are significant, and the ripples will spread far throughout Kavotos. To summarize, you know things we don't. And I'm sure that along the way, we've gathered data that you haven't. So here's my proposal, an exchange of information. That is the logical conclusion. Shall we undertake that endeavor as we continue our pursuit of Gabora? I accept those terms. Emmy, do you know which direction Gabora retreated to? Affirmative, I remember. What are we waiting for? Let's move out, Sensei. The alarm's going off? Another message from Gabora. Oh. Darling Gabora lost? Oh, I see. Shall we commence Plan B? No objections here. We'll respect Gabora's wishes to the very end. So, we will have to draw them to that place. Gabora sure worked hard to lure enemies in the right direction. That's our Gabora. Meticulous, diligent, not to mention hot-headed. Let's analyze the logs. Oh. Deer. An unexpected variable. The name. Am I reading this right? Tsukatsuki Ryo. Tsukatsuki Ryo? Annoying. An annoying opponent. Perhaps we should have anticipated this. But why now? Another useless line of questioning. After all, she was the first one to notice the Master's presence, and the first one with the audacity to investigate its traces. Regardless, we need to prepare a method to handle this variable. Even factoring her in, if we consider where they're being lured, and what we have prepared, here's the question. A variable has factored itself into the equation that we cannot simply ignore. Do we still proceed with our previous methodology? What do you think we should do, Soph? Decisions. We have to be decisive. Yes. Yeah. We'll proceed with the plan, using the same methodology. As expected, and in fact, I suspected as such. Are you sure? This is Tsukatsuki Ryo. Ryo. Yes, yeah. I'll acknowledge that she's a formidable foe. But on the other hand, that kid is just as formidable. Don't you think, Ein? Huh? What do I think? Our kids are invincible, right? Yes, you're correct. That baby is invincible. Regardless, one step into that place, and Tsukatsuki Ryo will be rendered utterly useless. Yes. Since Tsukatsuki's Ryo is only here wirelessly. Absolutely correct. Lastly, we need to correctly evaluate just what level of threat this new variable poses. Tsukatsuki Ryo. One with the audacity to grasp at forbidden technology which lies well beyond her station. I knew her data. Additionally, she founded the Super Phenomenon Task Force, which dared to meddle with the Master's operations. I suppose Akiboshi Himari was at the helm of that sabotage, however. She obscured her location and operated from the darkest shadows until now. What would cause her to suddenly reveal herself? For her to suddenly step into the front lines? Right. For one reason or another, she was waiting for that teacher of theirs to join. This, that, all of it, is soft, seedy speculation. Shut it, you. Anyway, whether Tsukatsuki Ryo is as dangerous a variable as Sensei, or simply one we can write out of the equation, we'll have to see. The conclusion Soph has come to. Then, you intend to evaluate the significance of the new variable alongside the utter dissemination of all other enemies, using the child? A decimation. Do I need to say it again? But is that really all right? If they encounter that child, even those people would surely die? Yes, an issue of great complication. We have yet to harm a human. Have held no desire to do so. Never even thought of it. If honesty were to compel me, I'd admit that even I'd feel. Ein? Soft? My thoughts are that this burden is one we must carry. Huh? I speak truly, do I not? In luring the humans out to the glacial sea, we have already pronounced our resolve in that regard. Did we not already tell them, please die? Wasn't that just for dramatic effect? Yes, yeah. I thought that was the case as well. Listen, both of you. Strengthen your spirit, for the sake of the elder sister. But, I know, Ein, I know. We never planned. Our ultimate goal is to avoid this situation, this solution to the equation. Who came to our turf first? Sensei and the other humans invading. Without permission, I might add. Yes, I understand. We must strengthen my resolve, so I don't fall behind. Yes, all will be as it should be. Yes, although making such a statement is the very epitome of irresponsibility. Huh? Well, apologies truly. Ein exhibits such a wide array of responses, the temptation to experiment with different variables is simply too strong. Oh, I was sorely tempted to experiment with your logic circuit's durability as well. Care to be my test subject? Rather than you being the one to conduct such an intriguing experiment... Ow! Enough violence. Soph, it's fine. You don't have to. As I stated previously, I've been investigating the traces of the Nameless God's power left behind. And in that process, I unexpectedly encountered Gabora, the fifth prophet of Decagrammaton. Does that create a connection to the trail we found at the Glacial Sea? But we've been unable to draw a line from Decagrammaton and the Nameless Gods, at least until now. That is correct, Emmy. I'm sure there are some truths to be uncovered in that alone. For now, we'll review what we're absolutely certain is fact. I've also gathered information on other prophet that inhabits the Glacial Sea. It appears to be mining resources here. Mining resources? I suspect this prophet has taken a form of a ship of some kind, an icebreaker, or tactical ship. I see. That hypothesis would align with the traces that we discovered. The Glacial Sea? Very humans travel here, but it's known to have such a wealth of resources. Knowing that, we can surmise that Gabor's role here is to patrol the nearby terrain for potential enemies, and act as a guard for the other prophet. That does make sense. Did you find out the identity of the ship-shaped prophet? Not as of yet. It simply emits almost no readable signals. I've attempted to take pictures of the scenes with a MOS I converted into a high-speed reconnaissance aircraft, but there's only so much that can be done while avoiding detection. I see. We'll incorporate your data into the hypotheses we've been developing. What hypothesis is that? Based on our observations, the Decagrammaton engineers are not only aware of the Nameless God's power, but also have likely acquired it. Yes, that seems a likely conclusion. We realized during our battle that the engineers were recording data from Toki's Abi Essa. We can only conclude that it was to validate whatever data they have collected of the Nameless God's power. On top of that, according to your information, there's another prophet, shaped like a ship, mining resources in the Glacial Sea. And as it left the area, it left a massive trail behind. Which begs the question. What kind of question? We've more or less determined Gabora's purpose, patrolling and data collection. But for what reason is this mysterious prophet mining resources? Do you think it has a different motive? I believe so. But that's just my belief. Again, this is all speculation and hypothesis. We'll only find answers on the field, at the end of the trail we've been tracking. According to my calculations, there's a high likelihood that the ship prophet is waiting there. Wait, I have a report. While we've been speaking, it seems the terrain below us has changed. I will decrease our altitude. Please buckle your seatbelts and beware of turbulence. This glacial sea is not very sea or glacial. What's wrong, President? What is this? I'd foolishly believed we had finally escaped the clutches of the glacial sea, only to enter a frozen tundra? There's nothing warm about a tundra. I can't take off my insulated suit. It's difficult to move. Yes, it's cold. I like it. Maybe it's a teeny tiny bit better than the glacial sea? I don't want a teeny tiny bit. I'd like for the fundamental problem to be solved. However, it's warmer here. On average, the temperature has risen around 3 degrees Celsius. In fact, the sea will not freeze as easily here. I would like to emphasize that there is no sea here. On to more important matters. I've identified something strange. What is that? It appears to be a trace left behind from something capable of moving. From certain perspectives, it is actually quite normal. We came this far following a wisp of a trace, so why should we not continue to follow this trace? But this one is, well, they look like giant pits, perfectly spaced out. Does a ship leave behind such traces? I know this sounds ridiculous, but yes, I don't quite know how to say it. However, since I said, it appears to be something like the footprints of a huge monster? The way you could say aloud what everyone else is afraid to is quite commendable at times. Are modern ships capable of walking? No. Do you hear yourself? Ships cannot walk. What purpose would it serve to attach legs to a ship? There's no one in existence who operates with such irrationality and inefficiency. I mean, the engineering department. But you enjoy irrational and inefficient things, President, like astrology and numerology, and you simply cannot understand my genius. Astrology is one giant science, combining the studies of many different disciplines, including celestial statistics and events, philosophy surrounding the malleability of fate, mathematics, and physics. But giant monsters are a realm that cannot be explained by science, a complete figment of imagination. There's no way they exist. Come now. You say that now. How do we approach this? We've been unable to acquire any other leads. It would be inefficient to simply turn back now. I think so too. Thanks for the summary, Toki. Thank you, Sensei. And while you're at it, they say compliments make the world go round. I'm not the world, but I am Asuma Toki. What did you do, Sensei? Toki's saying weird things again. So it's my fault? I've taken stock of the situation. Please alert us of any updates we have. Understood. Can you stand ground, Toki? We need to be prepared for any possible threats. Understood, President Mari. There's a volcano in the middle of a tundra? Ah. Alright, we are back. There's a volcano in the middle of the tundra? Warm. Too hot. I think it's just right. No, Emmy, it is still slightly cold, and as always, you are slightly strange. Humans are designed to live in these kinds of... no, in temperatures much warmer than this. The cold was nice and refreshing. This is too hot. This is beyond my threshold. I'll remove my clothing now, Sensei. No, Emmy, calm yourself. But why? Humans naturally find cold more tolerable than heat. You can even suffer from heat stroke with sudden exposure. You are not equipped to endure heat stroke. Some symptoms include the following: fainting, convulsions, low blood pressure, dehydration, and even death. To make matters worse, it's difficult to determine the cause of death when people die of heat stroke. In conclusion, it's inhumane treatment to continue this operation and force me to endure this extreme heat. You are very well versed in these symptoms. We're sorry for causing you the trouble, Sensei. You feel honored to have received an apology for me? That's a given. After all, who can empathize so perfectly with others and console them besides me? Besides a delicate, fragile genius hacker, a kind, benevolent president, an omnipotent and omniscient beauty. This simple task comes as easily as breathing to me. Yes, a simple task. I said it twice, to really emphasize how simple it is for me. Yes, absolutely. Of course. You're right, Himari. Your expression and your words are incredibly contradictory. The trail ends here. I'll scout ahead, however. The expected terrain has changed. Thus, so has the situation. Furthermore, it sounds like they've come to us. There are many machines currently in operation. Yes, digging, drilling, transporting, demolishing, they're very busy. That's a drilling machine, isn't it? Drilling is primarily used to acquire resources, yes? Then they are mining for something. Various ore tend to be formed in volcanic regions. For example, volcanoes make copper ore, and you can mine a significant amount of sulfur near an active volcano, but President? A communication jam. Toki? Yes, President Mari. I've confirmed a powerful jamming signal broadcasting throughout the entire region. In addition, Abi Essa appears to be affected as well. This jamming signal operates by overloading electronics. No concern. In my experience, hitting technology very hard usually works. Emmy? It did not work. Peculiar. Maybe the angle was wrong? No, I don't think that's the problem. Is that so? Due to a lack of options, I will reduce output down to regular mode. I can store Abi Essa in the temporary trailer Miss Rio created with the Amas. Negative. The jamming signal has also interfered with the trailer's function. The only other avenue is to manually dismantle Abi Essa. I can assist. Thank you, Emmy. Wait, any equipment that's still running? Yes, I can utilize any of the online devices to reverse the jamming signal. It's strong enough that it should be possible. I found it. The signal is coming from that direction. Is that a radar base? A strange facility of sorts. It may be made to transmit this jamming signal. No matter what it is, we'll need to find a way to resolve the jamming situation immediately. For what reason? Losing Abu Essa as a combat tool is a huge blow to our forces. Furthermore, I absolutely loathe to admit this, but without Rio's Amas units and navigation, remaining here is risky at best. This is purely about the utility of the tools available to us. Do you understand? Do you? You just can't be honest with yourself when it comes to Miss Rio. Understood, Emmy. Your expression reads as follows. President Himari cannot be honest with herself when it comes to Miss Rio. Can you read my mind? No, I was simply talking. I figured as much. For now, let's go that way. Yes, let's do so, Sensei. The situation and circumstances all point us towards that direction. Follow me. Be careful, Sensei. President, everyone. Turn this back on. Turns out Kisaki pretty good. Break through the enemy's defenses. Please, Toki. Yes, you can all stay back. Facility destroyed. Success! We've cut off the jamming signal. Is everyone okay? My signal just came back online. I would have been sorely disappointed if it hadn't. Well, for now, I suppose I'll say it was a relief. Yes, I've regained control over the moss as well. I also have access to Rio's trailer. A job well done. Where are you currently? The facility responsible for the jamming signal. We moved to this location when we realized what had happened. However, after the eradication of the first building, we've discovered another massive one behind it. Never mind something like this existing on land, but on the glacial sea? Something of this scale. Could it be? Do you realize something, Rio? Nothing I can assert with absolute certainty. There's one thing I can say. The amount of resources being mined in this region. It far exceeds the mining done by the Prophet I've been researching out on the glacial sea. No one would have put this much of their workforce into mining for no reason. There must be a specific need for these resources. But this begs the question, what could they possibly need this much material for? For those children and the Decagrammaton? Could they truly be planning on building a new kingdom? What should we do now, Sensei? Well, let's explore. Isn't that pretty dangerous? Our odds have improved. We have Miss Rio back. Yes, this mission is to track down the Prophet and to explore the terrain. If enemy forces appear again, I can defeat them once more. I'm the strongest maid and secret agent. That evokes an ominous feeling of sorts. Regardless, I second the motion. Someone went through the trouble of building this facility like this in an abandoned tundra. That, in of itself, is worth investigating. As Rio mentioned, there's something bubbling underneath it all that we have yet to bring to the surface? Affirmative. The President responded as expected. Yes, I've said before, President Himari has set aside. There's been a growing number of conspiracy theories about me lately. Ahem. Anyways, tread carefully, everyone. This passageway connects the destroyed facility with this one. We may have deployed too much gunpowder. The shockwave shattered everything. I merely followed the teachings passed down from my upperclassmen. One particular person's proverb was, "There's no such thing as too much gunpowder." Yeah. Yeah, I knew who it was. Akane. I haven't detected any movement from enemy troops. You're clear to move forward. Let's go. I'm getting more and more intrigued. I'm registering sounds of machine operating. A conveyor belt? Yes, after refining the mine resources, it would seem they are transporting them elsewhere. I would surmise this to be a processing factory. On a massive scale, it's akin to a large steel mill. A mysterious trail. Drilling machine. A signal jamming facility and processing factory. Operations of this scale have been happening in this region without a single person noticing. Nefarious schemes play out that way rather often. She knows all about that. The radar sight is down. We've spotted the enemy at the entrance to the second facility. Now then, shall we get started? Getting started means forcing them deeper towards that place. I can do it. A rudimentary tactic. Lure them into our clutches and eradicate them as they dance in the palm of our hand. Troop deployment complete. Now, Ein, fulfill your role. Yes, it's slightly beyond my comprehension, but this is how one hunts down prey animals, like rabbits and deer, from the base of the mountain to its apex. I learned of this from Soph. Other way around. Yeah? Really? Not again. How does Soph know? We never actually even encountered something like a rabbit or a deer. What is this? This can't be. Massive force of enemy troops preparing to engage you. Decagrammaton forces? This is incomparable to our previous battles. What is our next move, President? I shall prepare for battle. Stand down, Toki. Emi's assessment is correct. Even you can't hope to take down an enemy force of that size. Furthermore, Abi Essa wasn't designed to function in a narrow, indoor terrain. Understood, Miss Rio. Is there no escape route we can use? Just hold on, I'm looking. Their force is charging a single direction. It's blocked off the entrance you came through. There's only one clear path, deeper into this facility. If you follow it all the way down, there's an exit at the back. So the only route available to us is beyond the conveyor belt, to wherever the processed resources are being sent. There's no knowing what lies on the other side, but I would argue that taking the path would be more efficient than facing the full force of the enemy troops behind us. In conclusion, I would agree with Miss Rio's suggestion. I can prepare for combat. She said no. There are times to fight. That time is not right now. Understood. I will clear the way. The possess all the markings of a trap. I can't fall prey to these negative thoughts. With both Sensei and Himari here, we can push through this. Oops, wrong person. I saw orange hair. Yep, Chakma. I have located the exit. Hurry, Sensei. President Himari. It's locked. I'm forcing my way through. Excuse me. Huh? This is... You mean to say, this inside? We're now inside the volcano we saw earlier? The path led us into the heart of the volcano. This is really it? Rio? It was the most logical decision at the time. At the least, there are no enemies here. Volcano, high temperature area, and climbing. The heat is unbearable now. How are you gonna fix this? Sensei, take responsibility. You're better dressed than your usual outfit, at least. I suppose. I'm melting away. Whew. We may have ended up inside a volcano, but at least we can catch our breath. Let's go back to the helicopter and AC right now. Our state-of-the-art helicopter is not your refrigerator. The further we proceed, the more drilling rigs there are. This mountain was likely the core target of their mining operations. The glacial sea, the tundra, and a volcano? Just what are they planning on doing with this wealth of resources? Is it for Chest's munition factory? No. If that were the case. Emmy, you look unwell. Will you be okay? No. No. I truly am at my limit. If I don't make it, please leave a scoop. No. Please leave a whole box of ice cream in memory of me on my grave. Given the context, that sounds alarmingly not like a joke. However, the enemy seems to have stopped their pursuit. Hot as it may be, we can recollect ourselves. Here for a moment. They stopped? Yes, I'm scouting the area with drones and a moss, but I've detected no enemy troops in the area. On the surface, that's a relief. Underneath, it's an ominous statement. How so? Why would the enemy, who severely outnumbers us, not press their advantage? The only deterrent would be something of a greater threat. Or something they shouldn't approach. Ding, ding, ding. The answer is, in fact, both. That voice. You've somehow managed to intrude on this place. It's a shame. It'll be all for nothing, isn't it? Yes, yes, congratulations are in order. However, are they not? What a feat they have achieved. It doesn't matter, because it's all over now. I said it. I did it. Have you been watching us? Of course. Ever since you set foot on the tundra. You think you could scuffle with our troops and still escape our attention? Oh my, oh dear. Do humans really think I really require such glaring facts to be explained to them? Disappointed can't accurately express the feeling running through my circuits. I suppose it's to be expected. From here, it's all over. Right here. Right now. Yes, yeah. Like Ein said, let's get this over with. Of course, if you choose to surrender, I cannot fathom a reason not to accept. Do we call this mercy? A sense of pity? What are you trying to do here? Is it okay to tell them? The details we cannot, but there are things we could reveal to the humans. Soft? Why not? We intend to build a new foundation for this world, create everything anew, if you really think about it. We're doing it for you. To put it simply, we will present the perfect model, the complete answer. Yes, yes, yes. Now, listen closely. This next matter is one of great import. Allow me to explain it in terms you'll understand. Is it not the bane of human existence to agonize over the right and wrong decisions? Whether the path you tread is the optimal choice? We will graciously grant each and every one of you mercy. You will never again have to worry. Normally, ours just yapping, but this was Master's very reason for existence. Oh my. Have you been watching too many science fiction movies? What a third-rate villain mind. And a waste of time. Not even worth listening to. If you believe in your message, you shouldn't feel the need to hide things. That is correct. I have been told nothing can be for the good of all, and creating something anew is not worthwhile. You're going too far. I'm starting to get a little angry. It's of no concern. This outcome was still within the range of our predictions, was it not? The Decagrammaton engineers I've been hearing about. Tsukatsuki Ryo. Tsukatsuki Ryo. The new variable. You've arrived. So why did this variable finally make her appearance? No, another useless question. You, the first to notice the Master's presence, the audacious one, who follows its trail. You have not resurfaced since the day Kvotos' sky almost fell. And, like that time, you should have remained put in the shadows, where you belong. I can acknowledge this sentiment. Your perception of me is yours to keep, after all. However, you've gathered more data on me than I expected. We, the engineers, prepare for any and all possibilities, because we're the engineers. That's why Chakma will return everything to how it should be. Something's happening to the volcano. Detecting activity from the volcano, Sensei. There. There's more? A prophet. I'm seeing signals of a new prophet. Yes, I can confirm. The wave patterns? Is this Chakma? Chakma. Chakma, the second Sephira of the Tree of Life. The realm's ancient guardian. Shining intelligence, the wisdom hidden. Unwelcome variables are unwelcome. With Chakma's power, this volcano will erupt. And eradicate the most unwelcome variable here, Shell's Sensei. And of course you, Tsukatsuki Ryo. How will it destroy her? I mean, she's like a hologram. No problem for you, right, Ein? If it's for elder sister. And did they not decline our offer of mercy? You're right, they did. Yes. What in the world? This makes no sense. That thing on top of the lava, it's a super phenomenon. Right, I think the original purpose of our club was to investigate such things. The super phenomena we were created to investigate and this thing are two entirely different breeds. This signal, is this the nameless gods? Gabora was always reliable. A hothead, but still reliable. That's why we left the important task of patrolling the glacial sea to it. In fact, it was Gabora's idea to lure you ingrates here. Even the amazing Sensei and Tsukatsuki Ryo can't do anything to fight Chakma, not while it's in lava. Izumi Moto Imi is weak to heat, and Asuka Toki's Abu Essa is in need of maintenance. It sure is tiring to fight without rest, huh? It's break time, in more ways than one. We will go ahead and grant you one, an eternal rest. Against these kinds of enemies, sometimes a straightforward operation works best. What are you gonna do, Ryo? I will deploy every Amasa I have to build a defense line. We can use the remains from the field facility. I won't do it. It won't be a proper barrier, but sometimes against primitive opponents, you need primitive methods. That's. I see. That must be. Thank you, Ryo. The engineers stated that Sensei was their primary target for eradication. In their eyes, Sensei's presence is the biggest threat? Sensei? I don't know what those children are thinking or planning. But for now, let's take care of what's right in front of us. And then you'll definitely turn on the AC for me? For 10 hours straight if you want. Thank you, Sensei. That's why I like you. The helicopter's gonna run out of fuel if you do that. Preparing for battle. It's settled. Everyone, let us engage. We sure worked hard to lure them all the way out here. Good luck, Chakma. Tsukatsuki Ryo may have deployed countermeasures, but our beloved Chakma can handle them. Everyone, look out. Wait, really? It's not going to be a real Chakma fight? Well, if that's the case, we'll get rid of Mari and try Saori. Not Saori, what is it? Ooh. Well, what we could do is... There. Saori.
何をすればいい? 次はどんな業務だ?
You know what? If this isn't a special defense Chakma, then oh, it is. Okay, we won. Jesus.
何か見える。
やっと連続射撃いきます。
そろそろ練習に行きたいな。
We did it. What about the volcanic activity? Earthquake magnitude has reduced significantly. Lava flow appears virtually non-existent. The volcano is beginning to stabilize. That's the least of our worries. What is Chakma's status? It can't be. Even though Chakma was not yet perfected, I can't believe it lost. Wait, what is this? You fulfilled our resource quota? That was the situation. It prioritized the production of resource delivery rather than defeat of the variables. If that was its plan, it should have spoke up. Baby Chakma is a shy one. Let Chakma retreat from here. In that case, in terms of strategy, we're already victorious. Chakma is... Yes, it's retreating towards the glacial sea. Regardless, how do I put this? To imagine it had a second form. Yes, the gigantic pits we saw were actual footprints of the monster. Right? A giant transforming monster. Aren't you oddly excited right now, Sensei? I mean, it's a giant transforming monster. One of them proves to have good taste. Although, for that one to be the strange teacher, it's distasteful. Problematic. I'm just glad someone out there recognizes how great our baby Chakma is. Hey, why are we complimenting our enemies all of a sudden? Sure, I'm happy for you, but we still defeated that robot thing. Sure, whatever. You can tell yourself that. But we know the truth is that we were treated for your sakes, not the other way around. Don't be upset, Ein. It's okay. You did good. We will let sleeping dogs lie. This feeling of supposed victory, enjoy it to its fullest. Savor it, for now. Mark my words, a tactical victory does not make for a strategic triumph. They left. You seem disappointed, Sensei. Naturally, I'd hoped for more opportunity to converse with those children as well. Perhaps we could have found more... Even if... What? Perhaps we could have found out more, even if only the barest crumb of a clue. I wanted to talk more about the transforming monster. That was your main concern? I am a transforming battle maid, Sensei. You are allowed... What? You are allowed to like transforming monsters. However, you should give me some of that attention and affection. Somehow, Toki seems a bit different. Let's head back for now. We have our own injuries to nurse. I agree. We need time to catch our breath and perform maintenance. Yes, just like Gavora, I cannot positively assert that Chakma has been rendered completely inoperable. And the barrage of battles expended a large amount of our resources. However, if needed, I could continue, for I am the perfect maid. False. Stand down, Toki. Even you need to rest. Power down Abi Essa immediately. Understood, Miss Rio. Good work, everyone. I might just survive. But can we turn up the AC more, President? Spare me, Emmy. It's already getting cold in here. Your yellow jacket is made for cold weather. You can put that on. You're telling me to wear a jacket just so that you can have the AC on max. That's an utter waste of energy. What happened to the efficiency you love so much? You're wrong, President. In this case, inefficiency would be your operator not being able to reach... Oh, inefficiency would be your operator not being able to reach 100% of her potential due to poor temperature conditions. Energy can be recharged, machines can be maintained, even replaced. The human body cannot. We will leave this volcanic region at full speed. You two can catch a compromise after that. Great decision, Toki. Nice. It was nothing. Peace, peace. Peace? Yes, I learned this from President Himari herself. That's right. See how your very own Toki has grown and changed. This, that, everything you observe with your varied eyes. They're all thanks to this Millennium Mentor and super genius, delicate, chic beauty. What are you even going to do about this, Miss Rio? The president's head has blown up again. No, Thanks for all that you've done. Where did you come up with that? That thought has never crossed my mind. Not in my entire life. I suppose I can't deny that your presence has benefited this mission in more ways than one. Thank you, Rio. You saved us. Yes. We are above the tundra region. Air current is stable. But please remain on guard for any emergencies. It seems like the Decagrammaton remaining forces and facilities are no more. That reminds me, I collected samples from both of them. When did you do that, President? Do you intend on adding squirrel to your long list of titles? Oh my, a squirrel does sound cute. I believe this may have a rare situation where I accidentally encouraged her. I apologize, sister. If I agree, then I'd be agreeing that Himari's... well... I'm failing to comprehend this interaction. However, it appears we believe Emmy did something wrong. I will agree. This is a little awkward, so I think it'd be best if I just stay out of it. Anyway, what did you mean by samples? It's just that I said. It's just as I said. Chakma, resource harvesting facilities, and what seems to be Decagrammaton's forces protecting them. They were all subjects worthy of analyzing. Above all, the fact that they were operating forces and facilities of this scale without Ches, their munition factory, incites suspicion. We will need to land the helicopter to begin analysis. Understood. Let's do it somewhere very cool. Somewhere cool for Emmy. Maybe torture for me. That may be right. But we're also concerned about the helicopter's engine overheating. It can't be helped. I'll give up this time. You don't have to start pouting already, President. To summarize, we followed Chakma's trail from the glacial sea to here, and we uncovered its activity in the volcanic region. We believe it was harvesting resources to transport to a second location. Yes, we observed it building the transportation routes. Although we're still unsure of where the resources are being sent, and there are still facilities remaining in the area. Shall I perform recon in this area, Miss Rio? President Himari. Yes, thank you, Toki. Should I join her? No, I have a separate task for you, Amy. What is it? We need to do an analysis of the remaining Decagrammaton forces, facilities. My mission is to receive samples. Precisely. For this kind of endeavor, the more samples we have, the better. What are you doing, Rio? Didn't you say you needed more samples? Then are you offering to help? Did you really feel the need to spell it out? It's inane. It's fine. Great. Let's get this over with then, shall we? Find everything? You two are close friends. Definitely not. You're completely wrong, Sensei. Will these samples be enough, President? Yes, that should be enough, Emmy. We've nearly completed the analysis. Are you receiving the results, Rio? Receipt confirmed. I have a few conclusions I've made. Oh, is that so? Well, go on. I believe this is to be a matter of great importance. We can confirm it on site. I've detected traces of material construction in the samples. Ah, I can see it. We've faced something similar before. We have? Yes, Sensei. Do you remember the Ark of Atrahasis? And what happened to Alice and Key? Yes, exactly, Sensei. Yes, it is the same. Material reconstruction is one of the signature powers of the Nameless Gods. There's no way to confirm for certain, since we don't have direct access to Chakma. However, looking at the resource harvesting methods, their transport facilities, and even the forces themselves, yes, they were all created via material reconstruction, the power of the Nameless Gods. And now, I think our hypothesis is almost proven. Proven? Yes. All the pieces fit together. Asama Toki reporting. I've returned. I've confirmed the presence of hastily constructed rails, leaving the volcanic regions. There are also several small defensive forces stationed along the paths. Okay, good work, Trapi. Yes, of course, Sensei. You should be more proactive and bold in issuing me compliments. To be specific, here are some potential options. Head pats, a light hug, or your hands around my waist. Well, that last one, I see. Sensei, why are you suddenly flustered? Toki? I wouldn't question it, Miss Rio. I can't confirm if she's just revealed her true nature, or if she's changed, but this is simply Toki now. Let's continue, Sensei. Right. What did you mean by all pieces fitting together? Disappointing. There were 3 prophets of Decagrammaton that the Super Phenomenon Task Force faced before coming to the Glacial Sea. Bina, Chest, and Hod. None of those 3 prophets had any relation to the power of the Nameless Gods. But when it came to Gabora and Chakma, the prophets we met here, we identified traces of the power of the Nameless Gods, which could explain the rather surreal experience of a ship floating on lava that we all witnessed. Are already utilizing the power of the Nameless Gods, right? Yes, that seems to be an incontrovertible fact. Never seen that word before. The real concern is what they intend to do with that power. What? Rio, just now. Yes, I'm detecting it from here as well. What's wrong, President? Did something happen? Did you find something, Miss Rio? Please explain. Yes, for this to happen, we're going to have quite the emergency on our hands. In other words, we've detected a new prophet, but on an entirely different scale. It's a very, very powerful signal. Is it going to end right now? Oh, no, it's still going? They're not leaving on a cliffhanger? Okay, status update, Rio. The analysis of the new prophet? Yes, I couldn't get a detailed analysis from here. Considering its strength at the time it occurred, the signal faded out incredibly quickly. I can confirm it's a new prophet, entirely different from Gabora or Chakma. This would make it the third prophet we've encountered since coming here. It's a bargain sale for prophets. I would like to buy one. What's the asking price? You two, the fresh out of prophet stock. I recorded the signal's coordinates. I'll send them to you now. It's quite a ways away. I'm curious to investigate, but having to take the risk of moving our base again. Furthermore, to send out such a strong signal, there could be ill intent behind it. Like something summoning us? It's a similar functionality to a bug zapper, I understand. I can't say for certain, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out. I smell a hidden trap. While it'd be rather valiant for the headlines to say something like Super Phenomenon Task Force bravely takes on the enemy's trap and prevails, I pose, it's irrational and inefficient. Yes, I agree with Miss Rio. I am left with no other choice. Since no one else is taking the president's side, I will stand by her. I'm sorry, Miss Rio. What? Can you please not show sympathy like you're dealing with the leftover inventory? On top of that, it's not like I've advocated for one method or another. Then you're the one at fault, President. You should be presenting clear and concise proposals to the Council. It was meant to be an icebreaker. An icebreaker! To finish what I was saying, while bravely facing the trap is an appealing option, I can't take the risk. I can't take the risk. I can't risk the safety of our members. Then utilize my Amos. I have an Amos drone that I modified for high-speed recon for situations like this. I'll send it to the signal's origin. Oh my. So that neurotic personality of yours can be useful sometimes. I'm only deploying the most rational method for the situation. What are you trying to say? Forget it. I can't even open my mouth around here. I've deployed the drone. It'll take about 20 minutes to reach the area. I'll slow down, connect the video. What? Is there an issue, Miss Rio? I lost connection with my Amos drone. We need more details, Miss Rio. It's as I said, my connection was severed out of nowhere. It must have sent some amount of data before that happened, no? Hold on, I'm analyzing it. Is something wrong? Mari, I'm sending you the data right now. Help me analyze it. It's really unusual for you to request my help, so I'd assume, yes, I'm truly hoping that my interpretation is wrong here. What's going on? The thing's okay, right? What in the... This means... It seems like I wasn't wrong. Yeah, there's no way you could make a mistake with these. After all, I do respect you when it comes to this field. What's the matter, President Mari? To get to the heart of the issue, it appears that at the coordinates is the multidimensional barrier that once protected the Ark of Atrahasis. The Ark of Atrahasis? Yes, Sensei, there's no mistaking. But why here? And why now? Does this mean the Red Sky will return to Kvotos? And strange machines? I suppose you could call this a silver lining, but I don't think the threat is to that extent. But it sounds like the way we got through the barrier the first time was with Alice, so game development department? That's right. At the very least, it doesn't seem like there are signs of dimensional interference at the mentioned coordinates. But the multi-dimensional barrier is there? Yes. Considering this new data and what we've discovered so far, I would have to conclude that the prophets have fully immersed themselves in the power of the nameless gods. Furthermore, for them to have utilized an almost insurmountable defense mechanism, a supernatural phenomenon beyond anything we'd previously encountered, which means they're hiding something here. Yes. So what countermeasures are currently available to us? The only way we overcame the multidimensional barrier at the first time was with the Utanapishitim's, whatever, ship Sensei made for us. We would be hard-pressed to get another supernatural phenomenon at that scale into our arsenal again. Yeah, it's probably the case. Right, it's difficult to admit, but we're low on options. Everything is a non-starter if we can't find a way to deal with the nameless god's power. And even if we forgot the barrier, we'll have to find a way to circumvent the prophet's ability to manipulate material reconstruction and recover infinitely. I agree. We may have dealt some critical damage to Gabora and Chakma, but they've recovered in no time at all. Yes, using reconstruction, their recovery process is almost instantaneous. The prophets are already able to utilize the nameless god's power to this extent? What can we even do about it? Also, President, how can we forget the multidimensional barrier? Even if we try to pretend it's not there, it'll still be in our way. Now that I think about it, what did we do back then? Back then? Our main objective is to destroy the Ark of Atrahasis in the sky above Kabotos. However, the Ark is protected by a quantum superposition state barrier that makes physical access from the outside impossible. As long as this barrier is in place, physically reaching the Ark is impossible. Therefore, we plan to pass through the barrier by putting the ship in the same quantum superposition state. But ultimately, that approach method failed because the Ark of Atrahasis changed the entire value of the state itself. So we ultimately relied on I was not present at the scene, but I have heard that Alice was instrumental in the mission's success. I recall, after everything was over, the game development department members visiting us at the Super Phenomenon Task Force Club room. I remember everything from the party proposal, 2 kilobytes worth of data, a robot-shaped keychain, good atmosphere, touching background music, and finally my enthronement as the main heroine. Many things happened. The first part happened, but the rest sounds like a fantasy. I tried saying it. Cookie's been trying to secretly impart her own agenda more frequently. Anyways, back then, the ship that Alice constructed was Alice's proof of a hero. I still remember the name I came up with. It was sort of like Atrahasis Supernova. It wasn't the right time to say it back then, but you're not very good at naming things, are you? I don't want to hear that from you. They're both... But we don't know what exactly Alice did back then, which is the crux of the problem. We have no way of determining the method or mechanisms she used to reconstruct such a thing. Yes, what the source of the energy was, how material reconstruction occurs, how she controlled and discharged it. They're all mysteries to us. From our perspective, she managed all of this in the blink of an eye. All these questions makes it nearly impossible for us to replicate what she did. It was a miracle born of the strangest dream. which is what makes it the absolute antithesis to science and theory. Exactly. Science is a systemic process. It's designed to allow anyone to reproduce the same results as long as they're familiar with the process. I believe we should reach out to Alice. You want to call Alice out here, to this place? Yes, exactly. You should ask Alice to analyze and explain what she did. Rio, are you absolutely certain? What do you mean? Aren't you, then, just using Alice as a tool to resolve your issues? President. Rio, I don't need to repeat myself. We've already had this conversation back on the ship. The only difference is that the subject has shifted from Toki to Alice. Of course, as a delicate flower blooming on a cliff, I couldn't care less about the accidents you make and regrets you have, but someone making the same mistakes over and over again is rather uncouth and boring, even for someone who has to watch it happen. Yes, right. I have no rebuttal. Hey, Rio? Do we need Alice to resolve this? I apologize, Sensei. Please disregard that hypothesis. It is one of many possibilities, and I can hardly guarantee her presence here will result in what we need. You can forget I ever proposed it. My approach was incorrect. Then I'll try talking to Alice and the GDD. I'm not going to say that over and over again. Sensei? Sensei? What is this behavior, Sensei? Is something wrong with you? Are you very sure, Sensei? In the worst case? The situation seems dire? Well, I could see how one might be led to that conclusion. And if anyone here were to talk to Alice, it should be you? In return, I have a request of you, Rio. Me? I want you to come to the Glacial Sea Base in person. Miss Rio? Sensei, does that mean the so-called concept of taking responsibility together? I'll leave the final decision to you, Rio. Just like how you suggested your own proposal, I too am suggesting a proposal. I don't know, Sensei. I don't know whether or not I have the right to. Miss Rio, you were the one who saved us. I don't know about right and wrong. I'm also unsure if it is feasible for someone to always make the correct choice. However, I would like to see you again. Is that not reason enough? Toki. Rio, it's your decision to make. I know what drives you. It's rationality. So, what decision will your rationality, your logic, drive you to do this time? Logically, there are limitations with radio communications regarding both security and safety. Any kind of radio interference, like what happened in this fight, could affect the integrity of the entire mission. So Excellent. It's decided. We'll meet you at the Glacial Sea Base. Okay. What's wrong, Miss Rio? Does something not agree with you? That's not exactly it. But is this really okay? I'll send you the coordinates of the Glacial Sea Base now. I'm assuming you have some form of transportation already sorted out? Yes. It will be our first meeting in a long time, Miss Rio. I'll be waiting. Toki. Yes, how can I help you? Thank you for your hard work, and for everything. You're welcome. While everyone was busy with their preparations, I took some time to myself. Then, huh? Sensei? Welcome, Sensei. What business do you have here? We finally get more plot, What? you wish to see our faces. I'm both glad and thankful to hear that, but, don't try to play it off, though, Sensei. Affirmative. Your expression is that of seriousness. So again, what is your business? Not easy to read? Are you surprised? Of course we can see through you. We've been together for so long, you know. We know just by looking at you. Agreed. Perhaps you are not aware. But the sensei of my world was also that kind of person. What's on your mind? Spill it to Arona. And to me. Yes, Hana too. It bothers me that I can't solve this for them. Sensei. But if you think about it, Sensei, even until now, you've brilliantly solved many situations like this before, right? Or something like that. Time's a little different. You're saying that back then you helped resolve outgoing situations, like cleaning up the aftermath. But this time you feel like you're leading students directly into danger. Understood. But isn't there a possibility that something worse would happen if the situation isn't addressed? But I'm putting students in harm's way for a possibility. It makes me wonder if I'm any different from those people. Man, I wish I could just become super strong. Sensei? Cannot comprehend what is wrong, Sensei. You know, like that, right? I wish I could just solve everything at once. Why are you acting like this? Confused. I cannot understand. I would like to request a more detailed explanation from Sensei. Never mind. I was just being foolish. I've got to do it. Yeah. I'll try everything I can and struggle until the end. If that's not enough, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Sensei? You sure you're okay? Doubtful and confused. Request. Sensei should get a mental checkup. It's fine. It's fine. Sensei, thank you for the head pats, but even more confused. Cannot understand Sensei's intentions. I patted both of them for a while. Once they fell asleep, I returned to the battlefield. So we've already established that time passes normally while we're in the Shittim chest. So what does our body look like? Like, are we just sitting there spaced out? Do we ragdoll? Like, what does that look like? Ah, no. Oh well. That figures. So we're gonna have to wait to figure out what the the new power is. So is it going to be straight across from Chakma? Right there? Or Hod? Is it going to be straight across from Hod? Well, I'm glad that Rio is back. I'm glad we got to see more of this Decagrammaton. But, I mean, obviously this isn't the end of Chapter 2. So, we're at the halfway point, and we've just got to wait to see how it's going to turn out. But we're getting the GDD back. So there is that. I'm glad for that. Oh man. Okay. So there's the thing I want most. I want Key back. I want Key back, and I want her playable. But you know what? I was very unsatisfied with that that Chakma fight, so give me a second. Let's do this. Let's fight him for real. This is the farthest I can get. I can't go any further than this. I just don't have the team. Do we have this on? We do. Okay. Game.
情報収集能力お見せします。恨みはないけど覚悟して。アイスおごらなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。あなたテストを返しますよ。いますよ。やってこれを。通じないよ。あとはお任せしますよ。そなたの時間じゃ。もう一曲。恨みはないけど覚悟して。もう怒ったんだから。悔しい悔しい。通じますよ。狙いは正確。分析完了。弱点が上がった済みです。雨ならず通じますよ。そなたの時間じゃ。これを。恨みはないけど覚悟して。あいつおごらなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。あなたたちのせいだよ。
Okay, okay, okay. So that means I need to save Midori. That last Midori. We need to save that last Midori.
これになったかも。準備は万全ですから。恨みはないけど覚悟して。悔しい悔しい。やってこれを。よくできました。狙いは正確。恨みはないけど覚悟しよう。もう怒ったんだから。悔しい悔しい。本当になったかも。いますよ。雨はお任せしますよ。
What? Oh. Okay, so if she gets double tapped, she's just dead. Okay. She needs to be at full, and I need to be ready to heal her the second she gets hit during that barrage.
丈夫になったかも。あとはお任せしますね。恨みはないけど覚悟して。私の怒りの弾丸を食らえ。よくできました。そなたの時間じゃ今だ。狙いは正確。恨みはないけど覚悟して。もう怒ったんだから。悔しい悔しい。丈夫になったかも。雨ならたくさんいますよ。次もこの調子で。
Blocker. Good. What do we need now?
分析完了。弱点は把握するが手伝います。そなたの時間じゃこれを。連続射撃行きます。もう怒ったんだから。私の怒りの弾丸を食らえ。しばし休んで。逃がさない。分析完了。弱点は把握済みです。私が手伝います。あとは任せ。
We're almost there.
もう一曲。
打つように緻密に。よくできました。
There we go. You just barely made it.
悔しい悔しい。準備が万全ですから。あとは任せよ。
今だ。
打つように緻密に。100点満点。花丸です。悔しい悔しい。大物だ。雨ならたくさんありますよ。あとはお任せしますね。
これを。
連続射撃行きます。注意深く確認しておかなきゃ。
Where's it gonna land? Is that it?
もう怒ったんだから。あとは任せますよ。私の怒りの弾丸を食らえ。大物だ。あとはお任せしますね。ありがとう。雨ならたくさんありますよ。
Why are you not going?
これを。
しばし休んで。丈夫になったかも。打つように緻密にアイスをおごらなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。あなたたちのせいだよ。準備は万全ですから。怒ったんだから。
Body lock.
これだけありますよ。できちゃったな。やって
もう一曲。
悔しい悔しい。大物だ。あとはお任せしますね。 やってみる。
今だ。
悔しい悔しい。あとはお任せしますね。連続射撃いきます。そなたの時間。
もう一曲。
No. Okay. And now for here, let's wait. Okay, I think we want to be here?
あとはお任せします。連続射撃いきます。
Oh. We dealt so much damage it didn't matter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I guess we play the waiting game. Waiting for the next episode to come out. Or the rest of the chapter. I guess I'll see you guys then. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a good time. Have a nice night. Peace.